Due to this bloated, inflated ego, most of our relationship is failing. Subject and object comes when the bloated ego starts to work. When you remove subject and object, there is only action is pending. When only action is alone, that is in accordance with the law of life. What is ego? Most of the time, we believe that when someone behaves abnormally, we call him a egoic person, or when someone show causes his attitude in a elaboration manner, we call that is ego. So ego is, as per our own understanding, ego is abnormal behavior. But ego is not like that. Then what is ego? Whatever we know until today, that is called ego. So all our accumulated past knowledge is ego. In this entire universe, all the animate and inanimate objects have their own ego. If you take a atom, that atom has ego. If you do the anatomy of the atom has a proton at the center and the electrons are revolving around the proton. So the proton and the electron, which are the constitution of the atom, are doing their work perfectly. The electrons are revolving around the atom, I mean the proton. No electron will say that I am an electron and I am rotating around the proton. But the proton and the electron are doing their job perfectly. No atom will say that I am an atom, I have this proton and electrons, I am doing a great job, I love you, I hate you. The atom is performing its job in accordance with the law of nature. The law of nature does not have any bloated ego. The law of nature has only a plain basic knowledge. So all the atoms in this entire universe are functioning without any bloated ego. What is bloated ego? Humans always complain that the polarities of duality, dual is two. The duality has two extreme ends: good, bad, right, wrong, love, hate, happy, suffering, pain, pleasure. So humans have bloated ego when they say, I love you, I hate you, I am proud of myself, I am ashamed of yourself, I like this, I don't like that. So entire human ego is caught between the polarities of duality. The duality will not allow us to live peacefully. The atom is functioning more better than our human being. As we said, the atom will not have its own duality. The atom and the constituent of the atom are doing their job perfectly in accordance with the nature of the law. The same atom is the building block of our entire body. There are billions atoms inside this body. When our body cells, the cells are made up of atoms, when our body cells are doing their job without any ego, then why human are always have bloated ego? The bloated ego is nothing but the exaggeration of our basic knowledge. I am this, I am not that, I like this, I don't like that. So the duality of the polarities. We love dramas. We love drama of duality. So this is called the bloated ego. Ego is fine. If our ego is working in accordance with the nature, law of the nature, law of life. But when we exaggerate our ego, then it's a trouble for us. Most of the problem in our life comes from our bloated ego. The more we reduce our bloated ego, we are near to the nature, law of the nature, law of life. The more we near to law of life, the more perfect our life will be and the more peaceful our life will be. There will not be any suffering. So the only task we have is to reduce our bloated ego. When an atom functions, as we said, it will not say I am, you are. This is called the subject and object. An atom will not think that I am the subject and you are the object, but human think that I am the subject and you, others are the object. So subject and object will not be there in the plain ego. Subject and object comes when the bloated ego starts to work. Between the subject and object, there is action. I love ice cream. I, the subject, love, it is the action. Object is ice cream. When you remove I and ice cream, there is only action is left. The atom is doing its own action without any bloated ego. Humans have bloated ego when they identify themselves with subject and object. When you remove subject and object, there is only action is pending. When only action is alone, that is in accordance with the law of life. So bloated ego does not have any place in there. How to reduce the bloated ego? Because due to this bloated ego, we always misjudge our relationship, we misinterpret our life events, we either overvalue or undervalue ourselves. So most of the failure, suffering is coming because of the bloated ego. How to control this ego? Bloated ego. Ego is not the problem, but bloated, inflated ego is the problem in our life. How to control this? Empty gene is a meditation technique you can do for 30 minutes in a day. If you do it daily, your bloated ego will be reduced to 1%, because 1% ego is more than enough to perform our day-to-day activities. It's like you may need your ego, as we said, ego is the past knowledge, whatever we have gathered. We need the past knowledge to perform the present life. You can be a scientist or maths genius, or you are working in an office. So you need your past knowledge. So whenever you need knowledge, your past knowledge, you can switch on your past knowledge. Like whenever you do your work, you switch on your laptop. You do the work, then switch off your laptop. Similarly, you can lower your bloated ego to do the daily activity. Switch on your bloated ego, do the daily activity, then switch off your bloated ego. If you do that, your ego will be always in control. You don't need to switch on your bloated ego when you do in a relationship. Due to this bloated, inflated ego, most of our relationship is failing. How to control this? So empty gene is one of the perfect antidote for controlling the bloated, inflated ego. You can do it for just 30 minutes in a daily. and it will transform your life in a wonderful way. Thank you.